what is social emotional learning and how is it defined in your classroom?
Okay, in first grade, our social emotional learning is composed of like skills for learning self control, learning empathy for one another, and learning how to problem solve.
What are the social emotional needs of your students in a first grade classroom?
Well, in first grade, they are very much me oriented, and so they need to learn how to care about others, their concerns, their empathy feelings, and they also need to learn how to take care of small problems. Like we call them kid sized problems. They really don't know how to do that at this point.
What type of social emotional learning activities do you use in your classroom?
We have a program called Second Steps. It's kind of a box program, and there's puppets and there's DVDs to listen to and watch, and they're just kind of teacher directed so that we can kind of prompt the children. The other things that we do, we have our compliment circle that we do once a week where everyone gives somebody a compliment. We have Gator goals that the students write to each other to kind of promote thanking them for being a good friend. We have a social worker that comes in and she does 3 lessons with the students, Aaron's Law particularly, and she comes in as needed if we need some extra support to do some lessons.
Okay. So, what strategies do you use to handle behavioral challenges that you see in your students?
We refer to the second steps strategies that we taught for like belly breathing, counting to 10, walking away, talking to the person. We actually try to get the two, if there's a conflict, the two together to each of them have a turn, trying to talk it out. We have an Alaska in our room where kids can go cool off first before they can come back into the group. And if we have to, we can text the office to get some help if it's that bad of a need that we need them to come in. And then Mrs. Ross, our social worker, is available to consult or come in and help teach us with a lesson. So.
Okay. So, what is social emotional learning and how is it defined in your classroom?
As a TA, I believe that the social growth for a student is the development of relationships between peers and between staff members. The emotional growth is really trying to help children understand how they feel and what they're going to do with those feelings, the types of choices that they are going to make.
What are the social emotional needs of the student that you provide aid to?
The student in particular, over the last year, had a lot of fear of adults in the classroom, and often that fear became an issue if a child was hiding underneath a desk or trying to run out of the classroom. So we developed some strategies so that the child could be successful with his fear and learning how to deal with it and make good choices. The student also likes to be in control of situations, and sometimes impulsivity cause some behavior issues. So we've learned to make some good choices, and we talk about consequences of our actions and how we can be a successful learner in the classroom.
So, then how do you differentiate your SEL strategies to handle any behavior challenges you see?
What we've put into place is a schedule for some particular students, and with this schedule we have implemented scheduled breaks, and sometimes I think that helps the child to regroup or calm down. It could be a physical break where they need movement, or it could be just discussing choices and what's going on in the classroom. We try to use Second Step quite a bit in the class as a whole, but sometimes certain kids just need a few minutes one-on-one.
So, what would you say is different in teaching social and emotional skills to a student with an IEP?
I think currently in first grade, whether you're a general ed student or a child with an IEP, we do a lot of modeling for problem solving, communicating with each other, and I think that goes across any level of child. But as the children grow and get older, sometimes the problem solving is more difficult or more of a challenge for a child with an IEP. Perhaps they need a TA such as myself to act as a facilitator or model what we can say so that we can communicate with our peers and, make good choices and problem solve so that we can get along.